Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. Today I have a question about taking a pay cut for an opportunity, whether this is a good idea or not. So this question comes from Alex, and he says, I've been working at an IT/help desk position at $40K a year for the last year while doing an internship, DevOps/PHP dev, unpaid. My IT job has told me that I'll be promoted to do data analysis, no salary mentioned. Lately, my internship, I'm mostly just doing QA testing. My internship has said that they want to eventually hire me on for the $40K pay. Since I have no degree, this may be a good career opportunity. After my promotion at my current job, should I take this pay cut for the opportunity? So, this is a tough one. I'm going to kind of genericize this advice. I mean, I don't have all the context and background to give like to fully evaluate the situation, but I'm going to give some guidelines here that I think is helpful in just about any situation. And again, in this particular situation, it depends on, I would say, whether or not which opportunity is going to potentially lead to more of opportunity to do development, what you think you're going to do. It sounds to me like it would probably be the internship, whereas it's more difficult. Like if you can get a position, if you're already an intern and you can get a position doing development work, that's going to be easier than it is to go from like an IT help desk position to dev. It's very hard to make the transition from IT help desk to dev. It's just because people assume that you're one way and they assume that you're the IT help desk person and they can't see you as a developer role. That becomes difficult to do, right? So with that said, let's talk about kind of the bigger principle. I like to talk about principles because I think we should guide our lives and our decisions by principles rather than contextual situations, right? Because that can help us to make decisions in the context of whatever situation we're in. And so there's this principle that I talk about a lot, which is always in your career, in your life, prefer to take responsibility over pay. Because, and I talked about this before, I think I was talking about this quote in House of Cards where Kevin Spacey was talking about his character. I've only seen one episode, but it was such a great quote. He was talking about how, like this one guy, he made the mistake of choosing money over power, and he got the McMansion instead of the whatever it was. I can't remember exactly the quote, but it was a good one. But essentially, like there's this principle kind of expands to that area as well, which is basically this: like if you have the opportunity to choose power or responsibility, which is the same thing as power, over money, do it. Because with responsibility, with power, you can get money, okay? That's the key thing. And we could expand this to say, in the software development field or in this specific situation, we could expand this to say, if you have the opportunity to choose to do the career, the thing you want to do, that's in line with your goals and your profession over money, choose that, because if you go down that road, the money will eventually come if you become skilled in that, right? You might be able to get a promotion as an IT help desk person, but you're still an IT help desk person. And maybe you'll make more money than you initially make as a software developer. But I guarantee you, IT help desk people, right, that at the top of their game, if you are the shit IT help desk person, you're not making more than $60,000, maybe $70,000 a year. But if you are the shit programmer, if you're the top of your game programmer, you can be making $200,000 a year, maybe more than that, right? If you're a freelancer, hell, the sky's the limit, or you become an entrepreneur in that case. But even just as a regular job. So again, so this kind of falls into that guideline of that principle is look at it and in a situation in general, say, okay, think for the long term. Think where does this road take me in 3 years and 5 years, and where does this other road? And a lot of times we're tempted to take the pay. And I've done this, I've made this mistake in my career before, where I've switched jobs over like a 5K pay difference or a 10K pay difference. And some of you might say, well, that's a lot of money. I'm only making 40K. If I can make 50, that's a lot more. Granted, that's fine. It's a lot more in the short term, but in the long term, is that really going to be the best decision? Is that really going to, boost you up? And yeah, you can step ladder your way up, making 10K and then 10K more and 10K more, but make sure that you've got those opportunities. That's a strategy, that's fine, but it's a long-term strategy. So in general though, you want to always choose responsibility or power over pay, because like I said, you can always trade that. If you're in a responsibility position, a high responsibility position, the pay may lag behind, but eventually that pay is going to catch up. And even if it doesn't catch up at your current company, when you switch companies, if you had the choice between, let's just give you a scenario here to put some practicality to it. Let's say that you got a job as a software developer, you had one job and you can make 70K a year, but you weren't managing a team and you're just on your own, just the sole software developer for this company. Or you had another opportunity where you can make 60K a year, but you're the tech lead and you're in charge of a team of 5 developers and you're the technical lead for that, right? That second position is better. Even if you never make more money there, when you switch jobs, when you go and apply for another job, now you'll be able to say that I'm the tech lead, I was over 5 developers, I was the mentor, and you're going to be able to get a higher paying job, whereas that other job might offer you more money in the short term. So that's how power, responsibility transitions into more money. Not always right away, not always in the same company, but over the course of things. If you're doing big things, it kind of, another related principle is something that Zig Ziglar said, and he said that, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And it's kind of the same principle, right? It's like, if you're reaching more people, if you have more power, if you have more responsibility, if you're reaching if you're having a larger sphere of influence, the money is going to follow that. I promise you, because that's the conduit which money flows. It flows through power, it flows through responsibility, it flows through that conduit. And so you just have to understand that you need to make those choices. Hope that helps you. If it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. You can still subscribe, and maybe some video somewhere will help you along your path. If you've got a question for me, I'd love to hear it. You can email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.